Hello, this is Myra Elaine on the Buying Space channel. Today I'm reading chapter 3 in Exodus in the Torah. And Moses was keeping the flock of Jethro, his father in law, the priest of Midian. And he led the flock far away into the desert and came to the mountain of God, to Torah. And the angel of the Lord appeared to him in a flame of fire out of the midst of a thorn bush. And he looked, and behold, the thorn bush was burning with fire, but the thorn bush was not consumed. And Moses said, I must turn aside and see the great sight, why the thorn bush is not burnt. And when the Lord saw that he turned aside to see, God called unto him out of the midst of the thorn bush. And he said, Moses, Moses. And he said, Here am I. And he said, Draw not nither, but put off thy shoes off of thy feet, for the place wherein thou standest is holy ground. And he said, I am the God of thy father, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob. And Moses hid his face, for he was afraid to look up to God. And the Lord said, I have surely seen the affliction of my people that is in Egypt, and I have heard their cry by reason of their taskmasters. Yea, I know their pains, and I come down to deliver them out of the hand of the Egyptians, and to bring them up out of the land unto a land good and large, unto a land flowing with milk and honey, and place of the Canaanites, the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jacobites. And therefore, behold, the cry of the children of Israel is come unto me, and I have also seen the oppression wherein the Egyptians oppress them. And now then go, I will send thee to Pharaoh, and thou shalt bring forth my people, the children of Israel, out of Egypt. And Moses said unto God, Who am I, that I should go unto Pharaoh, and I should bring forth the children of Israel out of Egypt? And he said, Because I will be with thee, and this shall be unto thee the token that I have sent thee. When thou hast brought forth the people out of Egypt, ye shall serve God upon this mountain. And Moses said unto God, Behold, I come unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, The God of your father hath sent me unto you. And they then say to me, What is his name? What shall I say to them? And God said unto Moses, I will be that I will be. And he said, Thus shall say to the children of Israel, I will be, hath sent me unto you. And God said moreover unto Moses, Thus shalt thou say to the children of Israel, The Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, hath sent me unto you. This is my name forever, and this is my name memorial unto all generations. Go and assemble the elders of Israel, and say unto them, The Lord, the God of your fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob, hath appeared unto me, saying, I have surely taken cognizance of you, and that of that which is done unto you in Egypt. And I have said, I will bring you up out of the affliction of Egypt unto the land of the Canaanites, the Hittites, and Amorites, the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jacobites, unto the land flowing with milk and honey. And they will hearken to thy voice, and shall come, and the elders of Israel unto the king of Egypt, and say unto him, Lord, the God of Hebrews, have met with us, and now let us go. We beseech thee 3 days' journey into the wilderness, that we may sacrifice to the Lord our God. But I am sure the king of Egypt will not let you go, unless it happen through a mighty hand. I will stretch out my hand and smite Egypt with all my wonders, which I will do into the midst thereof, and after that he will let you go. And I will give his people favor in the eyes of Egyptians, and it shall come to pass that when ye go, ye shall not go empty. But every woman shall ask of her neighbor, and of her sojourneth in her house, vessels of silver, vessels of gold, garments, and ye shall put upon your sons and your daughters, and ye shall empty out Egypt. Wow. A lot of people forget about what the Jews took with them, that their neighbors, and some of the neighbors went with them. The Egyptians not only had slaves that were Hebrew, but they had slaves of other nations that they had captured. And those slaves went with them when they left. It wasn't just the Hebrews. Now, it was mainly the Hebrews because they prospered and multiplied under the Pharaoh. That's why the original Pharaoh that they were enslaved under after Jacob died was afraid of them because they continued to multiply and prosper. And that's why he asked the handmaidens, the midwives, to destroy the Hebrew babies. And that's why he issued an edict to throw the male Hebrew babies in the Nile, because they were becoming too strong and prospering through reproduction at a greater rate than the Egyptians. And instead of Pharaoh saying, hey, maybe there is something to Yahweh, instead of turning away from his gods, or God, if he was polytheistic at the time, the Egyptians did go through polytheistic phases. But he instead decided to slowly destroy them. I'm not going to destroy them because I need the labor base, but I'm going to slow their reproductive growth so they won't outpopulate us and maybe hook up with the Hittites, and and that way we would lose in battle between the number of Hebrews that they could recruit and the Hittite army, because the Hittites and the Egyptians went to war with each other, and the Hittites really won, but everybody left and went home and just left that power vacuum there. So it was kind of a draw, but the Hittites won on the battlefield. But the Egyptian hieroglyphics say the Hittites didn't win. But needless to say, the Pharaoh had all these concerns about other nations around them because they would war with each other and take each other's territory and riches. And Egypt certainly had a lot of riches to be taken. So the Pharaoh was always concerned with that, and maybe a little paranoid. Maybe the Hebrews would not have ever harmed Pharaoh if he'd, instead of, kept them not as slaves, but as labor who were paid, who were reimbursed, which they had the means to do, and not had the person there with the whip, but, a supervisor instead who wasn't going to beat them and to work them at a reasonable rate. But each and every Pharaoh was pressured to build a grander and more glorious tomb for himself, so we have that in afterlife. So they were self-pressured to do as much as possible. So Pharaoh couldn't see the abundance that the Hebrews had that didn't have anything to do with silver and gold. They couldn't see, he couldn't see how blessed they were beyond the threat. Why didn't he say, okay, you know what? I want that blessing for my people, and turn to Yahweh? But he chose to turn his back on Yahweh and continue to worship his gods and do things his way, instead of saying, you know, they might have something here. Think about how that would have changed history if Pharaoh would have come to God. You all have a wonderful and blessed day.